And how do y'all feel about Rutgers right now? Huh? I mean, so people just have no concept on how difficult the league is, top to bottom. And winning on the road is damn near impossible. And so I did not like the way we competed. I did not like the toughness we showed. And I did not like the mental fortitude that we had in that game. We get a lead or we play up or down to wherever we are, competition, or even within the same game. We are working on that. I got great guys. Not good, I got great guys. I mean, I don't sleep because I'm always saying I got to do a better job. But I do sleep because I don't worry about my players. I told you I mastered the art of sleeping with one eye open. Then I had some teams I slept with both eyes open. Now when I can sleep about my team, I can shut both eyes. Great guys. They've got to continue to grow. And we are making some progress. We just can't sustain it. And that is going to be what the end of the year is for. And, we've tried a lot of different things. We've changed up some things. Some you can see, some we can't. But we don't have to make major adjustments. We're shooting the ball pretty good, considering some of our guys aren't. We're rebounding the ball. We're still third in the league. We're shooting the lights out of the free throws, as I said. We're just not doing quite enough to win the close games. If it's coaching, then I got to do a better job. Okay? But we are in those games, so you got to be coached to get to those games too. You got to be good players to get in those games too. And we are, and we will, and we're going to find a way to win. It was a disappointing performance. It's over. The league challenges now is moving forward. We get who everybody had picked, I think, one early, then Purdue two, and while we get them, and Shazam, they've lost 4 or 5 conference games. But they've had some injuries, they've had some things that they've had to deal with. When I turned on TV last night, they were 21 down. I said, what the hell's going on? And that's what we've had to deal with in this league. I think Brad's a hell of a coach. I think his team plays hard. I love Frazier. Frazier, but Frazier and Williams are 5th and 6th year guys. Social Security cards will be checked before the game. There'll be no COVID checks. It'll be, it's probably the oldest team in the league, maybe in a long time. I don't know anybody had a 6th year and a 5th year guy that are players. Kofi's a 3rd year guy. It's a different team. It's a good team, but Frazier stirs the drink, and he can spray the ball, he can guard the ball, he can shoot the ball, and he knows when to get the ball into Kofi. So I think we are playing one of the best teams. There's no doubt Kofi is, Frazier is, but Williams is the glue. He's the steadying force. He plays defense. He takes shots when he needs to. He's the glue. And then, of course, they get Plummer, a transfer who shoots the ball from here, right here. Not into our gym. He shoots it into their gym from here. I mean, he's got the deepest range of anybody we've played in a long time. Very, very good player. Jacob Grandison is really come on to be a good, tough matchup as a 6'6", 4-man that can do some things and shoot it. And Carbello, I mean, he's had some issues and he's been out and injuries, but comes back, first game gets 20 against Purdue, has struggled in some ways, but he's a Kyrie Irving. He's as good with the ball as any college player I've ever seen. He can make plays, he can make things happen. Yeah, I think they're good. I still think Purdue might be the best, and I think Illinois is right there. I think they're 1-1. And that's been earned over time, but yet they've had a few issues. I'm hoping they have one Saturday for them, and I hope we play one of our better games. And if we do, I think, I see no reason why we can't win the game. So, questions?
You mentioned the toughness and mental fortitude. at Penn State. Is this the game where you need both of those things to be there in abundance?
I think, to be honest here, we need both those things every game we play. I think that's why some games have been close that I didn't think should have been. It's something that, we have some age experience, but we don't have playing experience. And that's hard. And then at the point, we have no experience, really. So, that's where you grow. I mean, you look at their two guards. There's a fifth-year guy from Utah and a fifth-year guy that's been in their program. Okay, you look at their wings. It's a sixth-year guy, and we're playing a couple freshmen. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. And the reality is they're bigger, stronger. And the other reality is they've been through a little bit more. So we've got to do the same thing. We've got to play. We've played good enough in just about every game. I mean, there's been one, I guess, blowout game in my mind in the Big Ten, and that was at Rutgers. And it was a 4-point game with 15 minutes left, and I get a tee on a bad call as I go back, and they hit a three, and boom, boom, boom. So that one, for all the gamblers, no problem. My fault. Okay? But for everybody else, this team's been in every game, win or lose, and we played some damn good teams, and I think we got to have that mental and physical toughness. I think that's what Michigan State's been all about. Paul Davis was in today, a lot of alums coming back. Alan Aganya, let me talk to him, And then I said, you really want it? He says, well, I know it's different in 20 years. I said, it's different in 5 years. But that's okay. Everybody else has to deal with it. I think that's why there's been ups and downs everywhere. Duke has a 20-point lead the other night, wins it at the buzzer. I don't want to use other teams. I just want to explain to you, so maybe you can explain to people this is not as easy as maybe most seasons, these last 2 seasons.
Has there been that process is usually something that just got to naturally happen, right? The sort of the sweat equity in it. Has there been a situation where you've seen it surprise you, speed up at some point where you go, okay, I thought this was going to take longer, and now there it goes? Yeah,
Max was having a hell of a year, and he still is, and still doing a lot of great things. But, he was above where I thought he would be, and some guys are a little below where I thought they would be. But, what you look for in a locker room, what you look for in a practice session, is if guys quit, are they giving up? We had a 7 o'clock meeting this morning. Is everybody there? Is everybody straight up, or is everybody bitching about being there? I don't got any of that. We're 18-7. I mean, my goal here as a coach has always been to have a mathematical chance to win the Big Ten with 2 weeks left. Well, we're down to about, 16 days? Okay, so we're getting close. I mean, as far as I know, in the loss column, we're 1 game away from everybody. Right? Am I right on that?
Deuce 12.
Game and a half.
Game and a half.
Like lost column.
4 in the lost column, and the other 5.
But I mean, everybody who's leading's got 4, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand scheduling and I understand all these things, blame the Big Ten for some of that. I mean, I understand all that, but right now we're getting near where every Michigan State team since the first Big Ten championship we won was at. That was successful. I mean, that where I want them, not every team got there, but I'll guarantee you about 75, 80%. Paul Davis, remember my Cramps coach cost us a championship. We were up against 12 up against Wisconsin. Yeah, I remember that. Remember when I think it was what's his name went down with the knee injury. We're up on Ohio State. We lose that one.
Dawson.
Yeah, Dawson. I mean, we're sitting there knocking on the door, and that's what we want to be. And appreciate that these guys are knocking on the door, and we're going to keep knocking on the door, and hopefully, it still comes. It still comes, because it can.
Were you surprised? You probably thought you were making some progress in terms of passion, intensity, and physicality in the Indiana game.
Hmm?
Were you surprised that it took a step?
Shocked. No doubt about it. Shocked. but it seems like, you know, it seems like we just got to realize that you're not playing a team sometimes, you're playing the game and you're playing against yourself. And if you get up 15, that doesn't mean you win the game. And if you play a team that's doesn't have as many wins, that doesn't mean you win the game. And that's the part that's been most disappointing. And if you ask me, players and coaches both should take offense to it and responsibility for it. And that's what I'm trying to do. And yet, I keep reminding myself, we're 18-7. And back when I was an assistant, we were having a party right now. We're having a party.
Did you see when you looked out of the court at Penn State a couple times where the light goes off on some guys here?
Yeah, I saw it. I did a couple bad shots. You guys were there. A couple of bad turnovers and a couple of unbelievable shots by them. They hit a couple Chrysler's, you know, that went in. But yeah, I saw it. And then when we got it down to 6, I could see in the huddle, you know, that's where you need a leader. That's where you need. But you know what? That's where the coach got to do a better job too. So I'm just going to have to look at this, you know, learn from our mistakes and make sure we don't make the same mistakes again.
These next 5 games are probably one of the toughest on your schedule. What do you think this stretch is going to kind of reveal about you?
Oh, thank God I get to look back at last year. You know, I don't have to look very far. Played 4 games against top 5 teams, wasn't it? Won 3 of them, right? I don't have to look very far. And some of these guys are part of that. And I've talked to them about that too, but we're in a different situation than we were in last year too. We weren't playing for any championship. And we weren't playing we're playing for survival. Well, I don't want that pressure on these guys. I don't know if anybody takes that as well anymore. That's why I can't stand when people are out there. You know, it reminds me of Foster Lawyer, you know, and what he went through when he left here, and it's sick. People are sick. But I'm gonna be above that, so.
Tom, right now we see the high schools getting ready for city championships and then state championships. I want to connect that to the NCAA. How do you keep your guys having perspective when they can be playing in the Big Ten championship or the tournament? Win or lose, they still get to come out again, but then you shift to one and out, and that's it. How do you help them keep perspective?
I talk about that a lot. I talk about one and done time a lot. I said that's what you got to prepare for, and that's why you got to play a certain way. If you're just a 3-point shooting team, the chances of shooting 3 times great in the Big Ten tournament are slim to none. If you're just that kind of team, the chance of getting to a Final Four is slim to none. If you're not good, solid defensively, your chances are. And you know, Denzel's team, we got beat. Number 2 team in the nation defensively. We shot 58 from the field, I think 54 from the 3. Or 56, 54, I think they shot 58, 56. You know, your defense is what wins for you in big games. It's what you're consistent at. In the last 4 games, we have not been very consistent defensively, which leads to inconsistency and rebounding. Before that, though, remember this. Those of you who were in the Bahamas, we were damn good defensively. So it's in there. We just got to bring it out.
How does that go away? The defense, when defense falls off?
You know, sometimes not respecting things or not understanding them, or sometimes the drag of the season, you know, what we're all going through, it's affecting. I mean, I could tell you teams in our league that have been predominantly the best defensive teams, had the most steals. They're last in our league in that, and very good teams. It's been amazing. And so I'm just trying to deal with it, cope with it, and coach it better. And so that part I got to do a better job of, I promise you. But it ain't through lack of effort by either the coaches or the players. And somebody's got to realize there's other good teams out there. And that's what I'm looking at. I'd like to know the prediction of all the people that are upset, what they predicted we'd be at 25 games in.
I want to ask you about one of your young guys, Pierre Brooks, who's sort of watching him throughout the season. He doesn't seem to drop his head, doesn't seem to, whether he's in or not, seems to be pretty engaged. And I'm just wondering your experience with him and sort of your conversations with him as you carve out a spot in the rotation here and there for him.
Morris Peterson, Alan Agagne, Xavier Tillman, Draymond Green. Now there's a kid on Illinois' team right now that had played 5 minutes a game, and all of a sudden Menendez, I don't even know. All of a sudden he's becoming a key guy. He's playing down the stretch. You know, this too is what I tell Pierre, and he has been better. He's got some things to improve on. He's got to get in the best shape of his life. But going into Christmas, we had that talk with him and his family because I didn't think it was that way. Since that, I think he's done a phenomenal job and he's improved. And hopefully he's going to get a little more time even now because I think this is when guys start wearing down. We have been lucky so far, guys. Almost 0 injuries. I mean, AJ hurt that ankle, but he should be okay, but couldn't play the rest of that game. But we've almost been injury-free.
What is he as a player?
He can shoot it. He's got strength. Very good rebounder for his position. But he is a deep range shooter. And we do need some of that. Got to get better as a defender. And again, got to get in the best shape of his life. I think, like Draymond went through, like Xavier went through, I think that's a big key for him.
You mentioned the tournament in the Bahamas, and those 3 games in that, maybe 2.5 games you guys played. How much did that maybe raise the bar for what you saw in that moment to where the team is?
It raised the bar for me. It probably put the bar off limits, off the charts to somebody else, you know. But that's why I came in here all those games and said, no, we're not doing this right. We're not doing that right. But it should raise the bar because you know what? Some of those teams, I mean, Baylor lost 3 in a row. And they too had some injuries. They lost 3 in a row. You know, UConn lost some games after that. I was shocked because they lost some games to some teams that I didn't think they'd lose to. So, I mean, everybody's going through something. I just go around and look. And I don't want to be normal with the media, so I'm going to let you in everywhere. I don't want to be normal with my team and say, hey, everybody's doing it. I'm just trying to be a realist in this. And during a time that it's kind of unreal out there, what we're all going through. So it's going to get better, guys. It's going to get better. And, you know, I think this will be a big weekend. And then I'm going to tell you, going to Iowa is going to be big. And then, oh, by the way, Purdue comes in. And, oh, then we get to go Purdue, Michigan, Ohio State, and Maryland to finish off. So it's going to be a hell of a schedule. And I told them, hellacious opportunities for you guys.